Good afternoon and welcome to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always appreciate you being here, and I hope you're staying safe, sane, and warm as it's getting really cold. I don't know where you're at, but where I'm at, it's really cold. You can see the hoodie. As promised yesterday, I am joined by uh, Michael Lauber, my co host on Let's Be Frank, also associate producer right here at Live Up to Freedom to discuss election fraud and some other information. Hi, Michael. How's it going?
Oh, you're not right. You're not wrong about it being cold outside. It's freaking 18 degrees here in Ohio. I was freezing earlier. I took Connor for a walk, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
ready
So
for
we
spring
have you
already.
beat. It's actually 21 degrees here, so it's not as bad yet, but I think in a couple hours we'll get there. But how come you're not wearing a hoodie? Like, come on, you're making me look bad.
I'm below where the camera sees. I'm wearing big wool socks and I've actually got some nice slippers on. Believe it or not, they're nice and warm. I'll
Oh,
give them that.
those are nice and warm. Yes, good idea. Okay, as you know, my show's only half an hour, so let's dive in. Why don't we
Yes.
start here? Yesterday or last night, President Trump made the official announcement. I think pretty much 90% of people knew he's going to run, but now it's official. It's out there, and he announced that he'd be running for 2024 presidential race. Why don't I let you talk about how you feel about this, and then I'll come in and put my 2 cents into it.
Yeah, I certainly don't think it was a surprise to anybody that's been paying the least amount of attention to this. I mean, he's been teasing throwing his hat in the ring for basically 2 years at this point, teasing either a big announcement or whatever. Um, my biggest takeaway from it, though, actually wasn't the fact that he made the announcement. It's been the reaction from a lot of the media, where um, they can't just report that he jumped in the race. The tweets or news stories, everything else, they have to highlight like um, he was an election, the person that was the election denier from 2020 that inspired the insurrection in the Capitol has decided to throw his hat in the ring again. It's not just straight news coverage. It's they're right out the gate. They want this guy
This
eliminated.
the smear campaign has already started.
Oh yeah, and these were prepared statements. I mean, everybody's known he's going to run. Knew he was going to run anyway. So this stuff was well prepared in advance. They were just waiting for the minute to pull the trigger on it.
Very true.
My other
Um,
big takeaway is just that I feel like announcing a week after the midterms is forcing people's eyes off where they need to be right now. Like there's still a lot of unresolved problems that we need to fix, and now this is going to be the big distraction. So a lot of these things can just be ignored.
I will agree on that. I still am a little concerned with the timing on the fact that we know, especially our side, conservative side, if we call it, is very easily distracted, and also very easily we tend to hold on to hope so fast that it doesn't take much. Last night I did think about that. I'm like, uh-oh. It's wonderful that President Trump has announced that he will run. Don't get me wrong, it is wonderful. But is this a bad timing to announce that a lot of people are going to stop looking into the problems with the hope of, oh, in 2 years he's going to fix it. Oh, in 2 years he's going to fix it. Because let's be honest, our record shows when he took office, when he won in 2016, I mean, not me, I actually did a video saying don't do it, meaning don't put your guard down. But majority of American conservatives, especially Christians, they literally just put their guard down and went on with life like everything is already solved, everything is fixed, and here goes 2020 when they realized, uh-oh, while we were looking, they were building up their plan basically. So that's
Yeah.
that's also my concern. Are we gonna still have conservative Americans, specifically conservative Christians, who are going to continue paying attention, continue getting involved, continue, or are they going to just sit back and say, well, that's it? Because I'm going to be honest with you, and I told you before we came on air, I'm like, be careful, we're going to get some backlash, especially if you do agree with what I say. Let's be honest. There is absolutely a very big group of conservative Christian Americans who do not hesitate to call Trump their savior. And that's actually one of the rare occasions that I get offended, because Trump is not my savior for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
Trump is not Lord, okay? But on that note, of many looking at Trump as our savior, is this going to be another time of putting down your guard, going on with your life, not paying attention, not complaining, or even cooperating until this 2 years is over and Trump comes in and fixes it all? I agree with that. That timing is a little concerning. And then the second thing that I would add is, since last night I've been thinking of this. What is the plan? What is the plan to get President Trump in the office? Because let's be honest, Kari Lake, even the left would say she's going to win in a landslide. Well, we can see what happened there. And again, the reactions are so bare minimum. Like, I was last 2 days, I'm waiting for someone to report that there is some sort of rally, big rally going on in Arizona. No,
Yeah.
people are back to life as normal with keyboard ninja attitude. They're posting about it. They're saying, I'm in Arizona and I'm disgusted. But that's the end of reaction. So every time there's still election, there's less reaction. 2024 will be the third one. So do we have an actual, tangible, solid plan? And by we, I'm talking from President Trump, his campaign, the rest of the people, all the way to us, the backbone of America, known as average Americans. Is there a plan to guarantee that 2024 will not be another election fraud and then another blame on President Trump for insurrection? You get what I'm going with this, that there is too
Yeah.
much concern, at least for me. There is too much concern yet for me to sit here and pop the champagne and celebrate, because I've seen it too many times going wrong on our end to think this time it's going to go right. And I'm not being a Debbie Downer. And anybody who wants to lecture me like, oh, leave it in Lord's hands or don't be negative, I need you to realize realistic point of view is needed right now, because everybody else is doing the false hope and a big hope and I'm not, yes, we will all pray, but I'm pretty sure we all prayed for Kari Lake too, didn't we? That you can't
Yeah.
just pray and then sit there and say, "Oh, Lord didn't want Kari Lake to be, winning this." That's a little bit of what I call overdoing the irresponsible act of, I'm just gonna leave it, I'm just gonna pray and whatever God's will is. That is, judge me however you want. I mean, as you know, I've been called worse, but that is overdoing it. If you don't pay attention, if you don't have a plan, if you don't take action, I don't think the celebration of, yes, finally President Trump running is going to last long.
Well, I think you just hit several nails right on the head right there. And first and foremost, yeah, exactly. First and foremost, like, God will answer your prayers and put a solution in front of you, but he still expects you to take action to make those things happen. Again, like I've said this before, it's not rubbing a magic lamp and wishing to a genie and then poof, things materialize in front of you. But I think you're also dead on about, so Trump threw his hat in the ring. Are a bunch of Christian conservatives that should be out there fighting for election integrity, fighting for the values that we want to see in our government, are they all going to go back to being asleep at the switch and just put their faith and their trust in Trump to get these things done? Because we can't have that. That's how we end up in the situations that we're in right now with these current elections in 2022. And I can only imagine what's going to happen in 2024 if we're not all out there active getting these things done now from the ground up. At the end of the day, it takes all of us to hold our leaders accountable. It takes people on the ground to go to rallies, to go knock doors, to make phone calls, to do all the things necessary to get somebody elected, especially when we already know. I mean, I just saw a story yesterday that out of it was 47-0 on the late night talk shows, which again, a lot of normies and people on the left tend to watch every night. They had 47 left-leaning or Democrat candidates. Basically, the only ones that weren't Democrats that they interviewed for this last election cycle were people like Liz Cheney, the rhinos that throw us under the bus every time. So we have a lot to overcome. We need an organized plan to do that. We can't just hope things happen.
Exactly. And you said the key word, organize. Our side is not organized. We're not. We are not organized because, number one, we look for someone else to do it, and then we might help them spread the word. We might share their plan. We might possibly, at the end of the day, try to show up for the plan, but those are all might. It's a maybe. So we lack organization. And also, we lack unity. I talked about this on my show both Monday and Tuesday. We lack unity because, again, right now, another reaction I'm seeing talk about unity. There are those, because we know even on the conservative side or Republican side, we have had never Trumpers. And they're all out now. They are out posting of nope, not gonna happen. I saw a post by a Republican who basically said, I will switch parties if this is my option to vote for. It's the matter of unity. Listen, the Democrats have this thing of vote blue no matter what, or something like that. No, vote blue no matter who.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We don't have that. We have this cherry picking attitude, which sometimes it's a good thing because we're standing by our values, but majority of times it's not. We cherry pick whose um, whose plan we're gonna follow or be part of based on personal differences. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
don't do it. Like, I actually have talked to some of the never Trumpers. I'm like, okay, tell me why never, because never is a very, very, very heavy statement.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Don't
It's pretty final.
exactly. And responses like, he's a bully. What does that have to do with his policies? If he's a bully, his policies will be bullying too. Okay, show me the policy he put in place that was bullying. Muslim ban. Okay, let's dissect the Muslim ban. I go over it with them. I actually have a video. Sometimes I just give them that to watch. They're like, oh wait, this wasn't a Muslim ban. I'm like, okay, that's solved. Next. Well,
Yeah.
the tape came out saying this and that. Okay. Are you worried he's going to make a policy that we should all, do that? No, he wouldn't be able to do that. Okay. You get where I'm going with this. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's asking you to date the guy. He's happily married to the most gorgeous, intelligent woman you can find. Get over your personal issues with someone.
Yeah.
Stop voting based on personality. Now, I personally, yes, I've said it for a couple of months now. I will only and only vote, promote, endorse, and support conservative Christians. I will say that much. But if first of all, who am I to judge if they're good Christian or not? That's not my position. But none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. Now, if somebody is in public eyes running for a presidential race with many people hating on him, well, his mistakes will come up. Are you gonna hold on to those and then go vote for a Democrat? Really? Like, you're gonna switch party and become a Democrat? It's that bad with Trump? That's what I mean by not having unity. We
Yeah.
act like mafia members. The mafia of this, mafia of that, mafia. Have you noticed, like, there's a mafia per leader? And then getting these leaders to work with each other is very easy. Getting their supporters to get behind both of them is impossible.
Oh, agreed, 100%. And you're right too. People like pick out these little minor like character flaws, what I would call them with Trump. They're little things that people don't like. They're not policy positions. They're not something that's going to affect you or I in our day to day life. They don't like how he responded to the leader in North Korea, or they don't like mean tweets to whoever. But these aren't policy positions. These are just, and I don't even really think they demonstrate character in the sense that you would look at character traditionally. So yes, he's rough, gruff, and direct and to the point, and sometimes he says mean things. But sometimes mean things need to be said, and not everybody's going to be a perfect, polished, what what the Hollywood presents a president as. And I would much rather have somebody in office that gets things done, that's fighting for my values and fighting for my beliefs and trying to restore our constitutional republic to what it was intended to be. And I don't really care if they make mean remarks on Twitter or occasionally say things that are out of line, or if you drag up a tape from 10 years ago that they've already apologized for. And it doesn't bother me. If I had somebody following me around with the camera 24 hours a day, I'm sure they'd catching me saying something that I would regret.
Oh, absolutely. And here's the thing. I personally would very much take someone who says mean things, which, by the way, it's interesting. I don't know, because I'm also blunt myself. I don't know what it is, but I still haven't found that mean tweet yet. Nothing he has said was mean to me yet. But I still take the mean words over someone who says, at least I understand the mean words rather than, what did he just say? Like, we are at a... Go ahead.
Yeah, rather than somebody that makes up words like Rexrel Nescent, Batacath Care, and Truanata Shabbat Pressure, and I can't even remember the last one that he just said where he slurred.
Exactly. He did you watch his response to the attack in Poland? Or you call it Poland, I think?
Yeah. He doesn't know what's going on.
The response is, literally, he said 4 sentences half through and ended with, I'd rather not make a comment until we've done full investigation. You're like, huh?
And then ran out of the room.
Well, there is a progress there, because he ran out of the room without trying to shake his imaginary friend's hand.
That's one of his voters. He was trying to thank one of his voters, one of the ghosts.
Yeah. It's like...
Yeah.
But that's the thing. As far as unity, organization, we lack that in our side. I really pray, this one is nothing I can do about except pray, that people realize the time we take on going after somebody else. I got this very wonderful, lovely email the other day, and I responded with just one sentence, which was, the time you took to write this to me, to bash someone I work with and try to convince me not to work with them. You could have write this email this time. Did I freeze? I did freeze, didn't I? Okay, I'm back. You could have taken this time to write to your representative and complain about something they did wrong. Just my idea.
Yeah.
If you have the time to long this, they wrote to me to convince me I shouldn't work with someone I work with. I'm like, why? Based on, again, personal vendetta. I had a fallout with this person and they treated me wrong, so you shouldn't work with them. I'm like, huh? Okay. So if you had a fallout with someone, everybody else needs to stop working with them? That doesn't make sense to me. But we are up for our break time, Michael. Let's go quickly hear from Mike Lindell and Extract Cavity at my store. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about Arizona. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Extract Cavity is an all-natural energy and health drink developed by Brannon House several years ago with a team of experts. Extract Cavity supports a healthy heart, strong immunity, skin, hair and nails, cognitive health, and cellular health. This all-natural energy drink is loaded with antioxidants. But don't take our word for it. Do your own research to find the benefits of red wine extract, bilberry extract, grapeseed extract, pine bark extract, and vitamin C. Brannon credits Extract Cavity in part for his abundance of energy and good health. Order your 30-day supply now at mystore.com. Be sure to use the promo code on the screen for a generous discount. Extract Cavity, your all-natural source for energy and good health. Find it at mystore.com.
Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for staying with us until now. I am joined with Michael Lauber, my associate producer here at Live Up to Freedom, also my co-host of Let's Be Frank, which airs every Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Please do make sure to go to mystore.com and mypillow.com. Use the promo code AC21. Supports this broadcast, supports Let's Be Frank broadcast, and everything else that we do here at Live Up to Freedom. Don't forget, Christmas coming up. If you want to purchase a gift that is one of a kind, handmade and nowhere else to be found. You can go to my art store, lutfstudio.com, lutfstudio.com. Use the promo code Frank and you get a discount. We get support. Let's conclude on our topic before we move on to Arizona. So, my bottom line is it is wonderful President Trump is running, but I will ask my fellow Americans to not jump the gun. Don't put your guard down. Stay concentrated on the issues until 2024. For now, stick with what needs to be done and try a little harder to stay united. Stop judging each other non-stop constantly and throwing in the towel every time somebody says something you don't like. Here you go, Michael.
Yeah, and I would also like to encourage everybody, this is not the time to disengage. If you're going to support President Trump in the presidential election in 2024, I would strongly encourage you to find some local candidates and some federal candidates at the state level that you can support. Work for their campaigns, volunteer, kill multiple birds with a single stone. The only way we're going to win this is if we all get more involved.
Very true. Very true. Okay, Arizona. I don't know if anyone was shocked, because I wasn't, or surprised, but I am puzzled. How many days? It took him 6 days, right, until they called it?
Yes, there's
For
still votes out to count.
that was where I was going. Six
Katie
days.
Hobbs, yeah.
6 days count still votes to count, but they decided that's it. I guess they just couldn't wait anymore, so they call it for Katie Hobbs. Good for Kari Lake for not conceding. Um, but I guess my question for you, because I couldn't find, I can't I can't call Kari Lake and ask her, but just considering you're way more well versed on the topic of law and election, what is the plan, Michael? Like, what is the plan? Okay, she won't concede, which is a good move, but what's next? Like, what's the plan here? What are we doing?
I know there was actually a meeting this morning. It starts at 8 p.m. there, or 8 p.m., 8 a.m. their time in Arizona, and there will probably be some announcements after that. So it's actually, I guess it would still be ongoing probably right now. We'll probably have some information coming out about it later today. I know they're either going to demand like a full forensic audit or possibly another election, because again, this seems like a problem that was clearly targeted, that Republican leaning precincts, that's where all these problems occurred. As Michelle Swinick, she's been, we've both interviewed her. She's been all over the place, both in the news and articles and on different shows. She was an election judge, and she talked about how the machines were only taking 10% of ballots for the first 3 hours when the line was going out the door. And I think a lot of people probably couldn't stay, so this probably shorted Kari Lake. But it's the fact that all these anomalies seem to be clearly targeted and benefiting one side in Arizona. I mean, when someone's polling 8 to 11 points ahead leading up to this race for weeks, you don't expect them to suddenly lose by a fraction of a point. That's well outside the margins of error. They know the same day voters in Maricopa County were leaning 72 to 73% Republican. It's like there's a lot of things about this race that just don't add up. Her next step better be to demand investigations, audits, or a new election that's on paper without the machines, without the manipulation.
Okay, well, I guess my next question is, what do you think will happen um, if and when they don't get any of these audits or re-election approved by judges?
Well, what I think will actually happen, unfortunately, is we will back down and forget about it, because that seems to be what we do.
Hmm.
I haven't seen any real rallies or anybody else going out to Arizona to demand answers. I haven't seen people getting involved at the national level, or attorneys flocking to the area or anything else. We already look like we're just rolling over and taking it.
That's what I'm afraid too. Now, I want to add this real quick. This is completely off topic, but as I stretched back for a second, I realized almost every time I have this gorgeous hoodie on and the logo in the middle shows, I end up either getting questions or backlash. I'm just going to make this clear. This hoodie is a 88 tactical hoodie, shooting range in Omaha, Nebraska, and 88 does not stand for what most people think it does. 88 for police is a code for situation secured. So this is not a demonic hoodie I'm wearing. Just for anybody who has a question or who wants to come after me for my hoodie. This is 88 Tactical, the shooting range in gun store in Omaha, Nebraska, standing for situation secured. Now back to Arizona.
Talk about people being petty and focused on the wrong thing.
Bingo. Like, that's the thing. I'm like at a point where I just put it out there before, my Farvahar has been accused of me being a pagan worshiper. My Iranian flag around my wrist has been, I'm more loyal to Iran than America. I'm like, okay, from now on, I'm just going to put all the information out before anybody goes changing other people's mind. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's flattering that I'm doing so good that some people actually have a smear campaigns in their little small groups to prove that I'm not who I am. That's good to know because I'm doing good enough. But I'm like, oh, I have my 88 Tactical on. Somebody's going to call me a Satan worshiper now.
Seriously, do we need to replace the show intro with a warning label first of all the things they're going to see? Shield their poor little eyeballs from?
Yes. I somebody told me, a good friend of mine, in a funny way. He said, you know what you should do? You should actually do a introduction for every show with your voice of, please note, I am not this, I am not that, I am not that, I am not that. I'm like, no, that's just, first of all, that's too much time taken out of my day. Secondly, I'll say what I need to say once, and those who want to believe it, who don't. That is not my responsibility. Remember, a few years ago, I told you I'm not here to prove myself. I'm here to disapprove of Islam. There's a huge difference. But yeah, I do love 88 Tactical. The shooting range is awesome. Anyhow, back to Arizona with the few minutes we left. I want to just point this out. If you look at the map and the election fraud that took place either 2020 or this year, you'll come to realize that these are selected for a reason. And Arizona seemed to go a little unnoticed. I have not seen anyone address this yet, so here we go. Arizona could not possibly be handed to Kari Lake. It couldn't. Remember, just 2 nights ago, Brown House had Todd Bensman on talking about the Chechen, Uzbek, and Tajik terrorists being imported into the country. Talking about the places where they're bringing even unknown, unidentified refugees in, technically through legal channels now. Arizona is the portal. Literally, it's the portal to import jihadis and terrorists in. There is no way they can hand it to Kari Lake.
Yeah, what was that NGO he was talking about that's set up just over the border in Mexico now, where they're basically importing people from all the stand countries, as he put it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a direct funnel now, and they're about to get taxpayer money to do it. So we're about to pay them to import people that want to kill us.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We need to start paying attention. And that's why I say we cannot just walk away from this one. And we can't expect Kari Lake on her own to fight it. We got to get behind her. And I'm putting a call out to people of Arizona. Go show up at her campaign office, I think, headquarters, whatever we call it. Show your support. Let her know you're with her. Let her know if you have to take a few days off from work, you'll do it for her. Don't sit back and expect her and her campaign manager to do it all. That's asking too much. So when she doesn't, when she gives up, you don't get to blame her because you didn't support her. You didn't get behind her. But we can't lose her. I mean, Arizona is in bad shape. This is specific, and again, I don't care. Call me an election denier, but a lot of them, okay, fine, let it be. But this one, Kari Lake race cannot be let go, cannot be forgiven, cannot be, brushed under the rug. No, this is too important. Right now, it is a portal when we are literally importing, as you said, people who want to kill us. We need Kari Lake to close that portal. The only way she can do that is for everybody to get behind Kari Lake. If you can donate, if you're a lawyer, go get behind her, offer your services for whatever you can do. We have got to push this specific race in Arizona needs to be fixed. And as long as she's not conceding, we have the window of opportunity to fix this. So while she's holding the line, get behind her and create enough backing that she can push back without falling back herself I hope that makes sense. We have less than 30 seconds. Go, Michael, your closing thoughts.
I'm going to add one thing to what you said. So even if you have friends that don't care about the threat from radical Islam, tell them this. Right now, the deaths from fentanyl coming over our border are about 300 people a day. That's like a 747 crashing every single day and all passengers dying.
Amen. And he didn't mean to say radical Islam. He meant to say Islam.
Yeah, sorry. It's a day.
Got you there. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being with us today. I do have a very special surprise guest for Friday. You do not want to miss it. Trust me, I'm not going to make the announcement today, but you do not want to miss my show on Friday. It's going to blow your mind. This person will be not only a first timer on my show, but a first timer on entire Lindell TV so far. So stay safe, stay vigilant, keep on keeping your eyes on the prize, and congratulations to us and President Trump for the announcement. May God bless you and God bless America. Goodbye, guys.
Thanks again. Don't forget to live up to freedom.